Welcome, my dear viewers, to my first Etoh video in a line of probably many. Well, technically this was supposed to come out before my Tower of a Simple Time video, but I'm lazy and I was never able to cover that, so this is like my second Etoh video. But you may be asking, what is Etoh? Well, Etoh stands for Eternal Towers of Hell. Towers are basically like Roblox lobbies, which either entail a standard 10 floors, or steeples, which are many towers, which entail 5 to 6 floors. The difficulty of these towers range from easy all the way up to catastrophic. Towers and steeples are placed into realms. In order to access these places, you need tower points, which are given out after completing a tower. Now, of course, you can't just make a point lock, because then you would just grind all the easy towers. What it does mean is that you have to accrue a minimum number of tower points from a specific level or above to gain access to that realm. Well, you can tell from the title, I'll have my experience with my first 50 Etoh towers. Afterwards, every 10 towers after this video will be made into another video. While this is left 50, I'll also be talking about some non-canon towers. These are towers that don't either have any value or have been removed. Therefore, this list will be around 54 or so towers. Well, anyways, without further ado, let's get started. But the meaning gets started at the beginning, and all great journeys have their humble beginnings. Mine starts at Toast, Tower Symbol Trials, Ring 1, Easy. This is the first tower in the game you'll probably play, as I did. Being an easy ranked tower as well, easy. Toast was an alright experience, as it basically showed me the basic gameplay loop. But one thing I like is the lack of safety nets in the tower, as in future towers, there aren't many, or at all. For a first tower, it's alright I guess, nothing special. TOA, Tower of Anger, Ring 1, Easy. My second tower. This was kind of memorable for me, as the first few floors were hard for me at the time. The tower kind of gets repetitive in the middle, but the last 3 or 4 or so have more effort into them, as it has a cool swimming maze on the 9th floor which I like. Overall, it was a nice experience for me to be, and I didn't mind it. Neat, not even a tower, Ring 1 Easy. Now this is the first non-canon tower I beat. As I explained before, non-canon towers don't give me points, but are still cool to do. This tower design is very easy, of course. It is very, very small and very short. This tower is being, well, a joke tower, and well, that's the end of the joke. Tome, Tower of Madness, Ring 1 Medium. My first medium tower, once again nothing different from the others, was challenging, but I beat it because I'm awesome. Next tower, SOMD, Steeple Meaningless Decisions, Forgotten Ridge, Easy. Now we move on to sub-realms of the first ring, Forgotten Ridge. Sub-realms are quite different from the main realms, as they contain steeples, as well as that sub-realms are connected to realms. Steeple, as talked about before, are like half towers, only give out half as many tower points as regular towers. For reference, towers give out 1 tower point, steeples give 0.5. Steeples, a meaningless decision. This, in my opinion, is quite nice. It tells us about what the tower creator thinks about Etoh, and again gives a choice between winning and doing an intensible floor. Let me tell you, as a new player, that would be a bad mistake, and tends like the 6th difficulty. Anyway, after hit restart, I was able to easily do the second time. The floor the second time, jeez Louise, well not the tower. Tower of Jolly Good Fun, Forgotten Ridge, Easy. This tower is quite nice. A little fun tower, easy to beat. I like it quite a bit. A hop, skip, and a jump. TONI, Tower of Noticeable Infuriation, Ring 1, Medium. This is my second medium tower, I believe. This was one of the towers I actually started to have troubles with. As I went higher and higher, I started more and more. From this point, towers get harder, but I get tougher. Anyway, I beat the tower. It was cool, hard, and I like it. It felt awesome climbing up to the wind pad. Next tower, Etoh, Tower of Heck, Ring 1, Hard. Tower of Heck, the namesake of the game, was also the first tower ever added to the game. This tower, once again, was quite hard to me at the time, especially the 1-stud thick jumps on floor 9 and 10. Those were a doozy. But yeah, I beat it and claimed my hard-fought victory. SOLW, Steeple of Low Woe, Forgotten Ridge, Medium. This tower ain't that bad, in my own opinion. I just make a bunch of easy mistakes from time to time. Heck, one time I failed one of the last jumps, but this steeple brought me little sadness. SOBJ, Steeple Beginner's Journey, Forgotten Ridge, Easy. This is the first steeple I've done in Ring 2 and its sub-realm, which is quite unique as it's more design and interesting gameplay, as well as a more modern touch. More info, there are few types of design in Etoh. Classic from being in its early days, with less design, more emphasis on gameplay and non-client objects, versus modern, which tends to have more creative design as well as by doing something cool with the Etoh kit. More on the Etoh kit later in another video. Anyway, cool tower. I like it. Next tower. SODS. Steeple of Devil's Snare. Garden of Ishal. Easy. This is the first tower I did. The second ring subrealm. Garden of Ishal. A subrealm theme with foliage and plants. Anyway, keeping with the theme, Steeple of Devil's Snare is a kind of spooky tower, where upon entering your house on the first floor, there's a suspicious plant on the floor. Going near it drops us into the rest of the level. The ending is only quite a sad one, where upon going under bridge to escape, it breaks and you fall, making you trapped forever. But there is a secret ending, where upon pressing the hidden buttons, you get a secret ending where you successfully cross the bridge and escape. I won't be showing that, so go find it for yourselves. TOPS. Tower of Phone Snapping. Ring 2, medium. Tower of Phone Snapping is quite a chill tower. It has good gameplay and a chill aesthetic. I like its gameplay and design quite a bit, as it is cool and nice. I don't get much more to say about this tower, except that I like it. Not only phone snapping asks me, but I don't play on a phone either. So, Steep of Infections Foliage. Garden of Ishal, medium. There's another Garden of Ishal medium. Well, look at that. We have 3 more Garden of Ishal steeples to talk about after this one. Lovely. Anyhow, this steeple is another foliage thing. I quite dig its design. More dark than the other one I played before. Anyhow, not much else to say about this tower. Moving on. SOO, Steeple of Overgrowth. Garden of Ishal, medium. This is another steeple. Yada yada. Okay, so the steeple has leaf buttons. Very important. Whereupon pressing them will activate a bunch of platforms. And sometimes the second button will be activated to change the first set of platforms and the second set of platforms to get across. Let's get to the last room of the steeple and try to climb the wind pad. The steeple reveals it has one last trick. A time section room that's raced back to a certain point and go through a new unlocked door to get to the real wind pad. By the way, losing here will cause you to restart the steeple. Cool steeple, a bit stressful, fail a few times too. Oof. SON, Steeple of Nightfall. Garden of Ishal, medium. And another one. Basically, Steeple of Nightfall. This one's much more atmospheric feel to it. You're basically going up towards a mountain, to the top of the snowy peak, which is the 6th floor. There's one interesting art, where in order to move the 6 platforms, you get to move yourself against the walls. There are elevators where instead of pushing up or down, they just make you hover. There is also a no jump section. Anyway, good gameplay, interesting stuff, and nice design. SOOA, Steeple of Overgrown Ascension. Garden of Ishal, hard. Last Garden of Ishal. Steeple for a while it seems. For about 9 more towers. Until my 24th one. Yeesh. Anyway, Steeple of Overgrown Ascension. This tower has a really cool frame and quite an awesome power to it too. It also has a cool minigame on top of 2 of the floors, which I quite like. A way of boxes spawn if you use a box destroyer to stop them from coming. And after it stops the path, very nice and cool. What the hell am I saying? Tower of Big Hole. Ring 2, hard. Ah yes, the first tower in Ring 2. This one has a quite wait. No, this isn't. What? My script! It's all wrong! What the hell? Whatever. This one has quite an interesting design. You are in the bottom of, well, a big hole for the first 7 floors. Each floor gets progressively bigger and bigger. The last floor being... No, the first floor is quite small. And the 7th being marginally bigger. Thus, 3 floors are actually quite known design, except for the scary jumps hovering in the middle of the hole. Though they have a bunch of safety nets on the side, which is good for the 7th floor as like a safety net. Steeple Pursuit, Forgotten Ridge, medium. This steeple is quite interesting, as its gimmick is that from the first floor, lava is riding, which will continuously hurt you as it touches you. Luckily though, on the last floor it stops. The last floor is just a button hunt. This steeple is much harder than it's difficult in my own opinion, but I take a lot of practice to beat this with pinpoint precision. Tower of Zero Disturbances. Zone 1 easy. Ah yes, the first tower in Zone 1. The second tower's world's realm. The second world's realm are called zones, and this one is Zone 1. Now this tower is much easier to play than some of the towers in Ring 1. It has a very modernistic design and some cool features. Now, that's why I like seeing towers, full personality and charm to it, and it's really fun to do so as each gem advances something more interesting. I'll drink some water. Oh, much better. Tower of 6 feet under. Zone 3, easy. This tower is the first kind of distinct tower I've done. Unlike other towers where you go up, this time you go down. I need some precautions to make sure you don't just fall to the bottom. Specific holes to go through, safety nets, TPs to the next floor. Anyway, this tower is quite nice overall. I had an okay time with it. My first time I did it, it had a monthly challenge where we started well 6 floors under. Get it? Anyways, it was good. This is the moment I started doing towers in order of difficulty, easiest to hardest, starting with easy towers and working my way up. Top hat, tower of peaceful happiness, tranquility. Zone 1, easy. This tower is real easy. It's so easy, in fact, I barely got anything memorable to say about it. I'm gonna say it was nice while it lasted. And I move on to the next tower. Tower of funny thoughts, ring 3, easy. This tower is quite easy, but for some reason, a stupidly annoying, time-wasting maze. So boring. Anyhow, I beat it quite easily. Steeple Mystical Marine, Paradise Atoll, easy. Ah yes, the sub-realm to Zone 1. As of writing this anyhow, the Steeple has a much wonderfully built aesthetic with objects, spinners and bubbles, elevators and bubble streams, and nice puzzle on the last floor. Doing the Steeple was quite fun. Tower overestimating difficulty, Zone 3, easy. This tower is quite interesting. It has some hard jumps from here to there, but overall design is quite interesting. It doesn't lack in terms of gameplay either. Steeple of Feudal Foliage, Garden of Etoh, hard. Now you may as well start up in difficulty. This is because I need 0.5 more tower hard points and 1 difficult tower point reaching ring 4 and zone 4. This Steeple is pretty interesting in my own opinion. It has 4 levels you have to beat before being allowed to the 5th. A cave, ruins, a windmill, and a village. After beating all 4, you're allowed to the 5th floor, so following obstacles. Luckily, all the floors are netted, which is good. SOSIS. Steeple of Sunny Island Shenanigans. Paradise Atoll difficult. This and the next tower I'm doing are both incredibly difficult for me at the time, as they both independently took an hour, and were way above my skill level. They were needed so I could reach the last 2 easy towers in the game, both located in the 4th areas of the game. This one is quite similar to the last one, with 4 floors having buttons linked to them, waiting to be completed before you hit the 5th and 6th floors. This is quite difficult, as well as the harrowing last jumps, which I did first try by the way, but they were super scary. Steeple of various vivariums. That's a mouthful. Garden of Etoh, difficult. This is more structured, more forward than like the last one before. And some neat puzzles, cool jumps overall, very cool. It has a cool it's Tower Spiraling Heights, Ring 4, easy. This one's honestly pretty interesting too. Some nice jumps and interesting things to do, as well as a really cool ending where you get launched into the sky. TOFSC, Tower of Fairly Simple Challenges, Zone 4, easy. The last tower I've done in the game until Ring 0 comes out. Let me talk about it. It's pretty simple, most of it's netted, which is good, so yeah. Really simple challenges, nice, easy, cool. Tower Broken Brick, Zone 3, medium. This tower's an interesting frame, split in half. It's not bad and quite fun to do. Overall interesting experience. TOIC, Tower of Inverted Colors, Ring 3, medium. This one is okay, I guess. Nothing memorable, it's kind of boring to be honest. A bunch of jumps here, spinning objects here, wind pad at the top. TOAT, Tower Ancient Trickery, Ring 3, medium. This tower has quite a few tricks up its sleeve to make you fail, but like all the other towers, I beat it, so it's cool, nice, easy, and done. MAT, maybe a tower, Ring 2, easy. Another non-canon tower, located in Ring 2, which is really quick, easy sort, super quick, and I'm done talking about it. PAT, possibly a tower, Paradise Atoll, easy. It's a non-canon tower located in Paradise Atoll. It's actually more interesting than maybe a tower, and slightly more fun, just a bit anyway. That's it, quite a maybe possible tower. TOAD, Tower of Atlantic Depths, Zone 1, medium. This tower is honestly pretty boring. There's some raw difficult jumps mixed with a few buttons, like 12 jumps on the 9th floor. And the last floor is really just a wind pad, not to be incredibly rude, but how to get in is kind of really not all that. Tower of Unearthed Discovery, Zone 2 difficult. Now you may notice a sudden jump up of difficulty from medium to difficult. A whole 2 difficulties up. This goes in order to access this last special sub-realm, Arcane Area, which is a sub-realm for Area 2? No, Zone 2. You have to beat this tower. This tower has a bunch of safety nets, which is good, because I had none, it would make no sense. Like, why is this tower prerequisite for Arcane Area, where the easiest is medium? Well, I'm getting off course. Anyway, this tower has a special gimmick, where each floor has a crystal, or you beat the tower to collect all crystals, and they're hidden. So go searching for them. Oh, what happens if you don't have them all? It was good stuff like at the end, you have to restart. Anyway, this tower is good if you want to get better and level up your skills. Next one. Steeple Biome Traversing, Arcane Area, medium. The first steeple I did in Arcane Area. This one's pretty neat and has a sort of story. Basically, a wizard makes you go through 3 dimensions to get some stuff for the 5th floor. Some dialogue, but I forgot. Anyway, it's cool. There's cool mechanic and puzzles. Steeple Stunning Sorcery, Arcane Area, medium. This is a cool tower in my own opinion. It has some really cool platforms, some nice raw difficulty jumps, as well as a cool finale section that's really fun to do. I like the Steeple's later floors. Tower of Deep Sighing, Ring 3, medium. This tower's kind of interesting, but not really memorable. It is well made though, I'd say. The jumps are interesting, these kill brick spinners, it's kind of overused, but I just smell like kill brick spinners. Anyway, this tower is nice and well rounded. Tower of Venomous Resistance, Tower of Venom Resonance. This tower honestly has a really cool theme. It has some snakes and a bunch of kill bricks, which mix in with the venomous. This tower is very humane, as it can kill you very slowly. Anyway, the main thing like this tower is that the latter floor, we spent the difference between two objects. One will have a snake object to it, and the other one won't, making it safe. Anyway, very cool tower. I like it. TOCF, Tower Object Client Friendly. Client Object Frenzy. Zone 3, Medium. This tower, as the name suggests, has a lot of client objects. Like, nearly every floor has one, and nearly each one has a puzzle. I like to treat each puzzle like a neat prize for reaching that floor. And the 10th floor is just a huge pushbox puzzle, which is honestly cool. The tower is where I introduce someone so they can learn some basics of client object puzzles and what they can be. TOGG, Tower Getting Known, Ring for Medium. This tower is interesting. Each floor has sort of thing attached to it. The early floors start easy, but the later floors, there's sort of cloud maze on one, and 2 floors consist of just spinning objects, which means you get to orient your jumps a little bit differently. Definitely harder tower than some others, but overall, solidly possible for me to beat in one setting. TOSA, Tower Sign Anticipation, Zone 2 Medium. This tower is what I'd say much more leaning on hard raw difficulty jumps. This what I'm saying is in favor of puzzling gizmos, it makes the jumps jumpy. The 9th floor has this atmosphere of hardship and strife, and makes it all the better to beat. The 10th floor is a kind of congratulations for, which I think is nice. TOAC, Tower of Aquatic Contemplation. This tower is quite interesting to me. The first half of the tower is not quite exciting as the second half, but at floor 5 it really ramps up. There's a bunch of fun puzzles and whatnot. Playing this tower is quite exciting with the puzzles you have to do, and jumps are sometimes interesting. Anyhow, that's all the meme towers I can do so far. The rest are locked behind other rings and zones. On to the harder towers. Steep of Realm Odyssey, Arcane Area, Hard. This one's pretty neat. That floor is quite hard, but other than that, it's honestly a nice old tower. It has a cool design and it's interesting to do. Tower P Zone 1 Hard. This tower lives with its name by being mostly chill experience. It's not all that hard in my opinion. It's a few runs to understand to beat it. It's quite retro and simple, but that's all I guess. Next tower. Only like a few more towers and then I'm done reading the script. Holy, this is so much reading I'm doing. Tower of Fun Summer Trials. Zone 4 Hard. This one is hard, but I won't say simple. Each floor has a bunch of obstacles, and so do most of the towers on this list. So typical on my part. Hippo, critical. Why am I critical of a hippo? Anyway, this tower is nice, interesting, and has many jumps. Seaboard Atmospheric Powers, Arcane Area, Hard. Now this time makes me feel a few ways. The first 3 floors aren't that tough and are quite easy, but the 4th floor is a doozy. There's a fan which pushes you off if you don't go fast enough, and has some hard slanted wraparounds. The 5th floor is just some hard raw jumps nothing to be overly concerned about. Tower of Killjoys, Ring 1, Hard. Now this tower is interesting for me, for even though it's one of the first towers someone can do, this is my 49th tower! Whoa. Anyway, this tower is chill. For half of it is netted, so as long as you can do the first half, it's pretty easy after. For me, the hardest part was my lack of skill, as that made me feel a lot. Tower of Hand Sweating, Zone 1 Hard. Okay, so I'm wondering why even though we hit 50 towers, there are like 4 more, because the other 4 are non-canon, and tower modernistic design choices was a misery, which was removed. Freaking yeah! Okay, Tower of Hand Sweating, yes, let me talk about it. This tower was pretty interesting, all around, nice, each having their own problem and whatnot. A cool tower. Next! Tower Fatness, Ring 3 Hard. This tower. This tower. Oh, I hate it! I hate this tower! This tower's not only so boring, but so funny for no reason. 4% of jumps are the same. The only interesting thing is like the maze. There's a section where it's like 20 jumps, which are the same for no reason. And this part is so flipping punishing. The difficulty spike, bruh. Sorry about that. Next tower. Tower winning every run. Ring 3 Hard. This tower is all the interesting, I'd say. It has some nice jumps here and there. Some interesting things. Honestly, it was fine while it lasted. The last 3 floors were net, which is good. Tower of Up is Down. Now, this is pretty interesting, all things considered. There's a variety of mechanics and puzzles. Honestly, for like one jump in this tower is pretty awesome. I like it quite a bit. Now, the last tower. Tower modernistic design choices. Pit of Misery, easy. And for the last tower on this list, Tower modernistic design choices. The tower's on the Pit of Misery, but that area got removed. And so is my single tower point, bruh. Anyway, this tower is fine. Despite its name, it's still quite retro in terms of design. And it's quite fine for what it does. There's this cool wind room. Alright, that's all the towers. Alright, see you guys next time for towers 51 to 60. Bye-bye, have a good night. God, this writing script stuff is tiring. No more for now. Bye.